Mm.
Chapter 1. Her name is Sonder. So, I am done. It's your choice. A deeper and ominous voice booms.
What's my choice? Snap. My initial thought disappears. Why am I holding onto this tiny glass tap? Snap. Did I get stuck in the dark? Where is that light even? What am I talking about? Where am I?
Are you done?
Buoyance, boom, voice, and a question now with a question? That doesn't even make sense. Snap. What am I wondering about? My mind is racing.
And my thoughts keep chasing, and I'm falling further away. The more I focus on this conversation, I feel like I forget. A perpetual catch-22, eh? Yep. The more I focus on remembering, the more I will forget. And unless I focus, I cannot remember, and I cannot remember this tiniest void that...
Come back to your mission. Come back to your mission. It drifts in and out. Snaps. It drifts in and out. Snaps.
It comes in. Snap. I am slipping away. Flash. What is my mission? Wait. If I just keep reading. Yes. I have something in my hand. Yes, that glass tablet. What did it do with a dream? Was I dreaming? Where is that tablet? My heart now hears a deepened tone in the voice. Remember your vision. I gasp. There's another voice? The voice in the different previous one? The first one I sounded more ominous, and this one sounds deeply grounded, but this one I can't find. What do you know about my mission? Hey, what's your dream? Wait, no. Maybe I'm not supposed to be here. Could this have been a mistake? Deep voice, tonal voice, the one who asked about my mission, can you help me? What is your mission? Good. That was my question.
Then
can you
based
follow it
on
instead of being silent?
Persist.
The mission assigned to you before you ended up back here. Oh, okay. That might not be helpful. Let's see. What is your next step? Actually, straightforward question. Relative to someone like me who clearly might have amnesia, what do you remember about you? Could I remember amnesia in the concept of someone like you? I might not know my mission, but I do know where I am. I don't know if I've died, but do you? Now, if you were still living, what is one thing you should know? No, more than just living. Darkness sounds so loud around him. I try to follow the train of thought. It sounds so clear, but my feeling of wanting to be
My awareness of surrounding click seems to be engaging and me managing for me to filter through this darkness with swift that I hear this heavy hanging interrogated room with
I
this
think
very
it's faith, but he faced an incapable little energetic Maresian. Yes, that was me. I was little, but I wasn't alone. I had a gradient and a lot of figures and guardians in the room, and I come back to awareness. Oh, he's being intimate in an inanimate object concept. We're at a table for two, but he knows he's only one, and there's a chair with me, one which I'm pixelated. I'm sitting here almost in transparency. I continue to observe that whatever we have done, we are here, and now we are in a large vessel that's moving steadily. I swiftly gaze my eyes around the dark unit, and there's an illumination that impresses me. I increase my focus on the convex window, and I cast out the silver lining. My gosh, those are gifted starlights. They're
I
burning themselves
conclude
out.
that this base
my
might
being
not
in
know the
space
feeling of
click.
prana,
Yes,
but
Spencer,
he's
huzzah,
setting
we
it
are in the
aside to
Well,
have the
who is we?
curiosity
Okay, I
not
must figure back.
alarm me.
Okay, I've forgotten
However,
how
I
this
remain
conversation started. You see,
pixelated. I
I
remain
assure
very
that it's a
calm.
context. Wait, he's still wandering. Wait, where am I? This sterile yet pleasant oval room doesn't charm me. It's very frequented much, but the spacecraft seems to appear to have two giant viewing windows that I can see identical dimensions of intergalactic travel here. And another window between them is 3 times the size, almost wrapping the width of the room. My gosh, that glint of that starlight. It traveled outside the vessel, dim and flickered into a twinkle, blink, in and out of existence. Wow. How did I ever get here to think? Looking around this room with such different shades of gray. I am so present why I cannot see different hues, but I choose to focus on something else that may. Besides my lack of color spectrum, I reach down and touch my smooth, rounded lipped chair. Oh, I occupy such a still gaze chair behind me. Why is that chair over there?
Why shouldn't it be closer to this table too? This table that only has two. Did I place myself here? Did I return with no attention to the lonely, sad, lonely little stool? Oh, it's a stool-like chair. It doesn't even have armrests.
As I watch it sit by itself, I'm touching the stool and I gasp alone. I fail to notice I'm pixelated as well. The fact that I even need a chair. Wait!
Have I always been this way? No, I suppose I used to be solid. And I had me company. I lack the divine appendage right. Yes, it's smooth beyond the chair. I finish touching the chair and I become aware
that I am limp in some way of a transparent mare. Yes, I guess I'm more of a feminine trying to cross into the solid. I gaze across my entire being and I see that I must have lost some appendages in my torso. I used to be compiled of random specks and bits, and I'd hold 2 or left or 3 as I stare. Now I can see through myself to this dismal truth. Well, at least I'm not the only Maresian here. Click, yes, this one in front of me. He remembers I was from there. I know I'm pixelated but as a Maresian. Still has knowledge that declares I was alive, and I still have solid thoughts that at least matter to him. I know he has no color, but yet I cannot see through him. I know he must hold memories then. That's what the banks of the ions. He seems to be holding on and nothing on as I dart into my awareness. Upwards into the clearly where there are 4 pixelated beings. They're scattered behind him in this bass-toned interrogator. They all seem to hover. In conclusion, there must be 6. Well, I'm one of 6 in here. This oval-shaped room of uncertainty tomb. I must be aware of the mission, that's clear. Well, at least my life, or what it was before I came to these 5. Click, that's it. I must just leave. Being in a room of uncertain must be pride. Yes, that's it. The awareness of knowing something must change, but you can't do it. 2 corridors that will lead me out, both opposite in the walls and viewings. But I must not focus on the tribute. I focus on knowing there's a great amount of commotion, and the first step I need to do is step beyond sitting here alone and move to one of the passageways, at least 2. I heightened my sense of frequency out there I compared to there. At night or in day, I'm relative to still stay if there's an alarming action of causing a flu. Beyond this room is why there is no one who wants to move. Why aren't they phased? Why aren't they hazed? How can I hear it and that commotion beyond the passageway? Yet, is it that they know that there's a lack of concern for what's happening on the immediate universe? Could it be that the answers everyone's yearning is for me to offset in this situation at hand at first? No, it can't be. That would be my mission. I break out of my thoughts as the voice of higher frequency now seems like that might be odd. Bass interrupts in a lead, and then baritone voice proceeds in an air concation. What a mission, Sonder! Am I Sonder? Click. Oh, those are my thoughts. Yeah, that's me. Thanks, baritone. Lucky me. I'm being someone who remembered how to identify self. It is still Sonder. Yes, that will help. It feels true, but you're on your mission. I look back and attempt to draw my recollections of my collected memories I've spent. I cannot recollect where the chair was for events, but I did occur in the name of prior expense. Yes, that was me. I was you when I came to the ship, and Sonder was my name, so conclusion is that the afternoon now is knowing explosion. Click. What explosion? Oh, yes, there was an explosion. I did not survive. I died. You were the explosion. A new voice enters my head. Who said that? I gaze over and I see a spectacating prana moving very slow, and the way that they had spoken, their tone was lower and it was stricter than baritone. I mean, yes, it spoke highly, but its high pitch was alone, and bass was like countertoner. But wait, I didn't say anything, not at least telepathically. How did they hear me? Baritone humors me in that continued speech. That's necessary, dear honey, to operate on heightened levels of communication. You are also capable if you're freely listening to the questions. It's quite like a parable, kind of like a perpetual 22 with all of the caution of minds. But in no question, did your heart unhear the dissatisfaction? Yes, you left it unheard, and you were capable to do it too. Colonel Toronto swiftly adds, telepathically too. Apologies for chiming in. It's just that you seem to jump off from this descending quick thoughts. That was a lot. I felt obligated to tell you, and then I took a long pause before bass and baritone ruined it. Give them some sight of applause. Give it some time and give it some skills. You need to master things much quicker than most prana. Here, yes, the commotion you heard was actually outside your living room quarter. Well, before it was abrupt, it was a dismantling of a trinity. You see, you've actually had a couple quite close calls, Sonderlight. Your physical casualty was beyond the mental compares of the beings, and you temporarily lost it. You literally exploded, but it's okay. There's at least other ways that your spirit was warranted, at least in this slight impact. For at least right now, you are satisfied to know you are an incredible, noble sacrifice that wake nearly all half-written authors that were sleeping prana on earth by choice. happened many eons ago, but I forget what they call it on Earth. You see, they don't even have a working calendar. It's divide clarification. And given the voice of thought, you would be someone who would be known as all the day you explode. And the only person who would hold satisfaction on that Earth planet would be held in the motion you explode to a brother of another mother, but he looked higher than you. He was at least three previous cycles of voice of kind of a counter tenor tone grabs my attention. Ah, perhaps of my choice. He was more of a mental being, the one that was totally intact. On Earth, they called him Aryan. And actually, in a matter of fact, he located the nearest planet on Mars and had the Region Galaxy come in to please sweet Lady Andromeda. And you continued to be a casualty. You see, you were the furthest interruption. And base proceeds. Don't be rude. We have observed much of the universe, complete piranhas, but Sonder, you were of you. You managed to have Arth accomplish a state of awakening. They recollected their own universal healing and their own university, and each skin suit, one that made many, was fascinated by the tones. As Base now sounds proud, but also frantic and rooting that he is still blind as an underdog alone. Before you showed up, I recognized by others that I demonstrated strength and greatness, even though I did not see even color. For you came in as a favored starlight to be observed, since you are completion of all the first and last at the same time. It was like an alpha meeting an obsession, but not an omega with a dick, an extraordinary applause of a cause. Someone like Cassiopeia blipped, and with almost all amounts, there was a break from what was. You went from first to 43rd level, and only because you were interrupted by an Aryan who was disheveled trying to help his little baby sister up. 43? That's reincarnate. How many come after that? Well, actually 42, but this was no contest. You were the only one who survived, kind of like a moment of chivalry. But in those moments, instead of getting married with pride, you found a little brother who was kind of a cousin who had passed before he even got to explain. His angelic soprano asserts, Sonder, you're a trinity. Before your level even hurts, allow yourself to realize you're less than 20 pages in, and only a few moments ago, before you became anything in an explosion that no one even knew. You were radical when you quit your jobs, you quit living in an emotion that was new. You almost went insane, and then this hologrammed image came of young, an Arth woman who was engaged in a projected Exodus sun. In front of me, it was Cassiopeia, who burned blighter than a squirrel. It began to be fuchsia, but then it became an electric fucadia. Begin the tense. You tensed up in the beam, back in the Kemet, grass hurled like a whale-sized tsunami that relaxed once on a wave, like a stubborn, pixelated piranha who gave up her necklace to save all of the pride in her toes, as no one harmed her in their world of racism. Thick, curly-haired girl who was hanging out just to burden the natives, who shoulder length sicked back on their pride, and they could not tell in display of the colored world how much red would subside out of this stubborn American who was shades of gray but was mesmerized by living a life in Thailand that appeared to be supersized, to be full of light and fire, to burn brighter than an almond rose, to die of gangrene on an ocean serene, with the eyes with nothing imposed. No particular thing stands out about her, although her identity was that she was supposed to write this Sonder light and have it sound like a melody. All the features were remarkable. She was stubborn as she wore out, all determined faces as this little warrior fate races, built out no shadow of doubt that she was a stillness of yogi who just wanted to be a model, to look at herself in 30 years held in a way that would be so coddled, to know she was going to live almost to 120 years, to feel unworthy to be someone so perfect, even for all of these years. And at that sight, she cast it out that she wanted nothing to do with it, until in that instant she refuted. She kind of laughed a bit. I see all five of you seem to be drawn to her in so ways. But I promise that's not me. I'm from our region, you see. I know nothing of this earth. I am an Arth hailing. I probably know of some of these memories. You're useful, at least to her. But I get that if I stay here, click, I'll become obsessed. But she will have no reason to come back, you see. You mustn't hold on to the memories. If she left them behind just like that, connect and follow a calling, but wonder while you're here what connected way is at best. You become intrigued that I'm here too. I wanted to drift next to her, only for a second to nudge her and tell her to get away from here. Why don't you tell me why you're here? Why does she keep that a secret? Clearly, if she would have shared it, you guys would have been freed from this tomb kept place that's so quiet. Why there's so much noise happening out of one of those passageways. I look back at the others and crouch down on my stool. Oh my gosh, I feel like I've been sitting here for days. I don't belong here. I can't do this. What does it mean to remember to fit in? I look at all five of them, so dismal and outside. I wish I knew what color or frequency went to accept their radiant glow. There must be a reason they don't change. But at least for me and at least for her, I cannot stay here for future days. One color is enough. Whatever this gray is, it has fresh memories. But if I finally take on the essence of this creation, Soprano finally comes up. You are astonishing! Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You are Sonder Light, and you are here. It's quite clear to me that if you were aware, the massive hologram sun must pop out in a few days. And if you multiply your stars, you're going to become at least five of us. And I touch the space from the floor to the rise ceilings that the imagined woman you dwarfed down to. You dwarfed down to a falcon egg-sized version, and now it floats down as a virtue. And from the ceiling, I see a tiny speck, much bigger than a dove egg. It couldn't be a chicken. Perhaps, like they said, a falcon? Is a falcon egg-sized version, like an American dreaming of one? And as this fleck floats down, I see it represents Earth. And nestled within that hologram graphic, Countertech picks up at least one part. Most of us were terrified to see you, such a promising starlight. You jumped out so radically, type of your behavior. You flickered out and it goes into fright. The surface of the earth now has a hummingbird-sized egg float off as if Sonder launched herself off of Earth and show all the ways that would go back to Mars and Phineas, and I would head directly back to the sun with no hesitation or less. Click! Then the flickering motion grants me the sight. I zoom into that primary color. Oh, what a delight! It ripples out into the room, and I look back at them. Oh my gosh, the hologram! Such blues and yellows and reds and chartreuse. I can see color again. Sonder, countertenor instructs, lend your attention again to the astonishing performance. Your prana hurls itself into the Earth's orbit, then shot through the space. Jet set on the direct path towards the sun. But then I continue to watch in hopes of remembering what I was thinking. And just as all of them are watching mesmerized swirls of marbles, the color I see, the magnificent tune of all frequency, a spherical planet, Troner demands, Fonder, focus. Now what do you see happen in the extent? Although one thing is being portrayed, one true around the universal nation, I watch the hologram. Continuing towards the sun, I see a glint within a stream, and then within a solar flare, I am then engulfed by the lapse of fire. A few moments pass by, and then I hear soprano. Let's see that a little different in irrelevant speed, my friend. If you felt you were traveling fast, then let's take it at ease. The hologram refreshes again, and I look focused on my attention and pleased to the egg-sized Sonder, who floats as easy as a hummingbird with the gliding of a falcon. Full intention not to shoot at erratically waste in space, full intention. As the small space saw that the glint stream went and it appeared to be a little longer, the slow burning magnificent stream was so bright I almost winced with laughter. I noticed the oval shape shifts and the ship that came into my awareness. And at that same spirit of the glint, I noticed to the right side an egg-shaped Sonder hologram now directed course away from the sun and brought halt, her size of a dwarfed fraction and what it was in action, of course, immediately altered. 123 degrees to the ship, to this ship, oh, to Spacer, yes, Spacer, to be here at Spacer University, to satisfy the completion, click, of completing my mission so I could see my whole ordeal family again. Call Toronto explains, lo and behold, you disapproved all that was led themselves to lead, and so they cannot believe that happened. You possibly could have left your mission early as an exodus, you see. Wait, what do they not see as possible? Wait, do others not comprehend? I deviated my set course within the action. Wait, we gotta tell them. Wait, we gotta tell the others. It's just an external force. I loosely grabbed my stronghold and my mind betrayed the and then my false image came into action. I just came home. I'm not at the sun. I'm here. I'm at least me, the pixelated part who knows the truth. Yes, but about 90% was casualty because you did do something outside what most people thought was physically capable. Your cranium processing spilled into the rest of the base and the programming, well, at least for them, they derailed. They cannot comprehend that at least 10% deviated and went 123 degrees. You set course in action, but upon and compelling internal forces, you see. This has truth, Control Trenor returns. I hear a smile in what she tellies. You stopped because you were still curious about this world. Yes, I know. I already agree. Yes, but there's more. Wait, there's more? I haven't seen. I haven't a clue. Where am I? Who am me? Or is that significant? Am I still Sonder? They practice telepathically. They practice telepathy.
Telepathically? Ah.
What is that?
I practice telepathy.
You want to do these next 2 pages?
No,
Please,
I'm
please,
good.
please.
I'm so good.
Please,
I'm dreaming
please.
about what you're reading.
Okay, what have you gotten? So can you do previously on?
Where?
Up to this point.
Sonder exploded, and all the voices started talking, and then she had a bunch of questions, and then I was sleeping, and then I heard telepathy.
Can you start reading from telepathy?
This has truth, Controlta returns. I hear a smile as she tells. You stop because you are still curious about this world. I agree, but was significance of all this? I practice telepathy. I recognize that I am Sonder, and I am curious about a lot of things, but I do not know what mission you are referring to. Lucid-like thoughts will themselves to the surface of my memory, but cannot make a clear appearance. I can faintly see them. I sense a familiar sense. It is as if I have been dreaming place. Watch us around a little longer before turning my attention to the room I am in. I chose to come, yep, but why? Why? Bleak and oval Mary yellow room. Is there this big attention complex? I don't know who tells. It's quite normal for things to be a bit fuzzy now. Eventually, your set of unfinished lessons and incomplete experiences will drift back in chunks. Everything you completed will not need to be revisited, rest assured. So beyond trying to remember what was, this is what is now. That is what is so. Space tries to bring me back. What do you remember, what do you remember about your mission? I'm reflecting on this question, which sounds more like a demand for information that I do not know how to retrieve. Again, I attempted to remember. This is more than 2 pages. My mission. All I produce is failure. Snap. I huff. I don't have one. The tepid feeling within the room does not change, even though I become a bit hostile. Counter tenor begins again. Ah, Sunny girl, will you ever have this universal questioning what you will do next? I hear nothing, they say, following that name. Sunny girl? I remember that endearing nickname, but how do I know it? Do they know me? Stillness in here is maddening. Choose to let go of the anguish that I am waking up. The moment I do, I feel a rush of relief. I hear the 5 chanting on a higher frequency, a frequency I do not know was present. Was this how they heard me when I wasn't talking? Am I reading their minds, their peaceful minds? It is quite soothing. I can still sense the anguish radiating from the room next door. Very curious, but I wish to stay with the soothing chants that I now relate with. I'm not certain, but I feel that my prior self would have chosen to leave this calming room to explore the chaos. Personally, this suits me. I haven't a clue how long the other 5 have been in this state of being on this unknown 43rd level of life. Still remains unknown. I evaluate my surroundings as I look around once more. I read a sign stating main lesson capsule. Click. This is the spacer training facility, which I was not to return to until I had completed the mission. Yes, I remembered this has to transport me back home once I completed Drats. Here you go. That was the 2 pages.
Where is it?
This page.
These clouded memories, I'm trying to remember. They continue almost breaking through the surface. I plunge back deeper with breath before I can grasp a true meaning. I know that it's my mission, my reason, my intention for this reality. I'm gonna wait till you stop moving. Didn't you have to play games after 9 minutes?
Plus, I'm here with you.
Do you want to be?
It's nice to.
You know how happy that makes me? Good. I love you. My free meeting will end in 10 minutes. Got 10 minutes. I know. My mission, my reason, my intention for this reality. I try to remember again as I recognize the sleek and narrow circular layout of my beloved ship, and to my appreciation, this is my genesis. Before I turned 43 levels, I chose to return to this ship. Yes, my ship. Is it still mine? Of course it is. Where would it not be if I could not always be once I completed where I could go, where some of my memories could be held? Yes, that is home. Are there still homes in others? Of course, like where Arian. Click. Once I get back to my brother, I blurt out. I had a sibling on my mission. I can remember now, it was more than just a joy. I have a great enlightenment and a regulament to return with my mission of mad choice. I was on a mission as a spacer to wake up the sleepers of this planet with my guardians of the Regin galaxy, and also the Lady Andromeda and the Andromeda. I was assigned the Great Awakening mission for the sleepers of Zero Zone in 2045 AD. Click, wait. Was it Zero Zone of 2034 AD that I truly left? Soprano comes in. Really good question, Sonder. Gee, you know your questions might expand the worlds that are outside if you know what's at hand. Would you like to practice for a bit to elevate as a whole? We can stay here and easily keep channeling all these levels that you don't know, all the international collection, all the communication, just like... Get right. I begin to travel out. Sorry, Soprano, out of sight. I begin to let go of trying to figure out what I'm going to learn in this room. Instead, I'm going to tap into the internal communication line that is freaking out there, that's surrounding the hums and rustles and ceases of ways. How did your frequency get so scared of their haze? You're completely doubting your ability to help others. I focus on Soprano. Nothing now. Silence. Click. I must have been harsh. I began to intercom. I know there's too many sleepers and they're being misdirected, and it's my fault. I'm sorry, and I won't be gone for too long. I'm just being misdirected. I only see possibility, and right now, this listless choice to sit here, it's nauseating energy. I hear an intercom sound that comes back to me. Nauseating? I weirdly isolate. No, not like that. It's just these words again, you know, snap. Trying to hide it, baritone sheds. I remember fighting it. You followed this funnel and tunnel model. You've praised your pride. You're perishing your joy. Those sleepers out there, they're not going to believe you. They can't even see the duality shapes of benevolence that's void. In all the areas you try to reach them, go for it, sunny girl. It's either going to be good or bad, but it's your consequences and your reward, so lean into it. And just know your consequences are relative, at least in the truth that this book must be finished. And if not, you'll just be funneled again. So fear the majority and get to what you know as the flat earthers or flatterers are pixelated prawnies that are being and spinning with feelings, and they're waving all their tentacles with dramatic ways to assume that they are baritone as continued. What are flatterers? And why are you preaching in here? If you are practicing something that you don't explain to first judge, you sound like a coworker. That's even worse. To talk spew about people that are probably sensitive about people they're gonna lose. You despise them spending their time freaking out and franticking. Man, you sound like worse neighbors. I demise that you boast in here and say we should talk. It makes me think that you're about how much money makes your worth. Can't spend $1 up here when everyone feels you're insane. I can't stand your job or watching you derange all the ways that you're watching these pixelated spinings. Your talk is nauseating. To question them, now it looms in. What are you questioning, Sonder girl? I listen now, knowing they can probably hear it, and if you know as much as them, then why are you here? I direct back to baritone. I'm sorry, I need to go. Just remember, you're panicking in here with calmness. That's just a hypocritical way of saying you're a flat earther still. And even if we're not on Earth, can it, at least while we're inside this tomb, remember whatever day it is in your lives, don't worry about me. It's probably June. I'm about to go outside. Baritone tries to make a point. Wait, I'm sorry. I was just trying to waste time. I wasn't you, I assure. There's nothing I'm fighting, I swear. Before you explode, I want you to know that Spacer, forget it, Baritone. We'll talk later. Stop comparing and stop giving me knowledge. The situation of a fellow Spacer is starting me to think I need to go to college or some type of university where flat Earths go to pay, where they want to become something better for a society that they think they can actually change. Don't get me wrong. I know we're both wrong. Snap out of it. No, I gotta go. I keep walking towards the thing and I remember, oh my gosh, I don't know how to move. I snap back. I speculate. If I'm to mock them, yes, first I must learn how to move out of this trap. I take a breath and I release from this stool. What is it then? My memory is a bit fuzzy. I need to move. But I can sense this knowledge pooling and it doesn't give me any certainty. What would you like me to tell you? How do you move when your transparency is beyond what you can imagine in the challenge ways you sit back? Those skin suits. Yes, the skin suits. Those aren't what had you move. That lacked any accomplishment. I finally gather my thoughts and I recognize as I sit still, I must get off this ship now. So that means I must know how to move out of my way. Wait, did you coordinate my exit? Can I just move through each room? Or perhaps is there a more direct way? None of them sound obvious since none of them have this issue. They're all entrapped prana here and they don't know how to ensue that if they remain on Earth, they might not move through a hole. They cross through sufficient sots as they're pixelated beings, different colors. Well, maybe there is a hole. Click. I don't know how to just fly through the side of a ship. Click. Where am I? Sharp pause throughout the capsule. Then the instruction comes again. Come back to your mission, Snap. I already told you guys I don't remember my mission. Gosh. Wait, was that you guys or is that just me asking the same question? Am I becoming a hypocritical flat earther or a sleeper? I admit, click. I'm sorry for asking all these questions. I get if I stayed here, we'd probably figure out anything. But if I want to do my best, I gotta stop stamancing answers and I must go out there and at least try everything. In a light-hearted counter explanation to my response, Base begins to speak. Come now, Sonder. Do give your curiosity recognition. Better you ask us than assume that we think the same. Actually, thank you for not making mockery of our divinity. It's what had me so relaxed, to be in flow. I've never asked those questions, so thanks for letting me practice, I guess. More than what you do, your divinity connects true to who you are, sharing your inner intelligence. So thank you. It whispers to you simply to give further direction. You don't have to follow it. Is that my inner intelligence? Counter chooses to proceed, whatever it might be. You are ready. You are ready for that next level. Well, we all are, but thank you for understanding that it wasn't until your curiosity, none of us we would have all failed. So I believe the success in our universe comes from being here with you now. So thank you for demanding excellence of us as you leave us with no doubt that we will find you again because we will explore and discover further. Do you understand us, dear Sonder? We give you our word. You are clever. I nod. I hear this. This echoes so true. Thank you for believing in me. They express in mutual feelings. Oh my gosh, bless you. Yes, we understand that we wish to discover universal truth for ourselves, but to discover it for ourselves with others, well, that's just being willing to help yourself. At the same time, you want to teach what you do not already know. Everyone in the room, including me, 6 are nodding in agreement. Yes, we all did that, so we all laughed. We all spoke at the same time. Did we really? Snap. Wait, no, I didn't, Barrett says. I must have been cheating. How could we all have been in sync? That would have been hard for us to remember, let alone try to write it down. We're not that clever. I respond, yes. Yes, all 5 say in unison. We must be mockery. Everything completed will not be repeated. Rest assured. I fall silent for a second. I look at my stool. Base reassures me once more. Eventually, any unfinished lessons will rule, and incomplete experiences will drift back in fragments, at least for this past life. Do you have that opportunity or chance to choose the universe that's not perfect? It's just divine? Well, perhaps in completing what drifts.
Express mutual feelings, yes, I understand. And I wish to discover universal truth, promise, not just for myself, but for others. They all agree. And so did we. But
But did I really? Snap. But did you really? Snap. Frustrated, I bark. Did you really? Or are you just saying that so you guys all could agree? I bark out. Are you just lying to me? They mutually come back. Well, even if we did, then how could we all agree to remember how we would do it now? Because, all 5 say in unison with mockery, everything completed will not be repeated. Rest assured, you can beat it. I fall silent on this stool. I was supposed to move, and they moved me. Base reassured me once more. Eventually, all unfinished lessons and incompleted experiences will drift back, fragments of your past. You know that. So every opportunity you have to complete them, choose it with love. This universe isn't here to be perfect. It's here for you to discover your divine above all. Perhaps in completing what drifts back to you, you can regain connection with a few higher selves. I exhale. What higher selves? The ones that you will find. It is very easy to be aligned. Soprano expresses, well, as long as you don't doubt it. I mean, if you really want to, you can be assured, Sonder, that if you hold on to your worry, the best thing that you will do is stay stuck right here. And if you're stuck here, don't worry. You at least got 5 of us. I seem bemused, and so they continue to respond. I can tell you're doubting yourself. Countertenor now cuts them short. If anyone has a little bit more doubt than me, I'm attempting to transcend, so automatically I'm going to get entrapped. Baritone telepathically states, human beings are not for the weak. If you are a strong mind, they will be distracted and fill you with doubt. They lose focus and follow anything, so you should be well to remember that. We do it too. My memory is shooting rapidly. I open up my floodgates of my flash storms, and all of these bits that they're sharing seem more tunneling of a lifelong soliloquy. I wish to share this with them for similar-looking prana, and then I transpire so fast I brace myself and I grasp the lips of the spool. Oh wait, I forgot this is the last conversation before Arian and I stop. I see the montage, an image, a quick lightning across the desert sky. I see his face clear, dread in his eye. Oh my gosh, that bright burning night, as I saw the scar. Oh, the stare up in the right. He sees me. I'm up there. As I hone in on his mouth, he says, don't leave me. I can tell he's yelling out. I squawk back to him, Jan, I'll be back. Oh, I realized something that can change the ways of flash. Oh, my eyes. Why did I do it? I let go of the chair. I hear them all eager. What did you see there? I want to tell them I did it. I know I exploded. I don't know why I would have done it. Eager, they seem caused and change. Base promotes. Focus, Sonder. It doesn't matter what you realize. What did you see? What did you really want to tell Arian? Where is that memory? And I go placid. I go fake. He continues and I quake. I don't want to say even what I thought I saw. What does he know? Does he know that it's dominant over the parts of me that are hopeless searching in that casualty? I don't want to be wrong, and I don't want to blame. I know it now. My allies are to gain. They're trying to reach my inner thoughts, but are they for good? I yearn to pull away. Perhaps I should. I can tell their true intentions are to help, but you can't help a butterfly. That's why I know I must not tell them anything in this figure 8 glow. I feel like I'm ascending, but at the same time I'm deepening. I feel like the floodgates are heavy, but I keep watching. I try to grasp for air, and then I do nothing. Why did I do it? I must be hiding something away for the safekeeping. Do I tell them? I do not dare tell them. That would take so long, and then I wouldn't leave. I intend to discover what I want to retrieve. Back to my dormitory. That's where I must go. And I must wish to trust them eventually, so maybe right now they just need to listen to their heads. Yeah, don't get in my head. I will allow my heart instead. This ship is mine, and it's calling me to adventure. Click, I must return to my post. I regain my composure. I pass through the personal exploring alone. I acknowledge base, and I keep talking, and so I raise my voice from the conversation outside of Telly. I stop him, actually, still telepathically. I'm integrating, you indicator, to the wrong Sonder here. You demand answers, which I clearly do not have, so without answering any questions, I'm out of here. You can easily think that way to your Sonder, but outside of my head, I demand that if you are going to yell at me, you at least use a little voice behind that hand. This reality is hypocritical that my guardians vicariously live through their offspring many light years away. And see, I assume that my point has been made about this interrogation that you're integrating. Where there are no further interrogations, my words have reciprocity. So if I come to respond to any way that I've been wrong, I will guilt myself first, sir, and first I will head out that passageway where I belong. I'm going to investigate this ship of mine by myself, I declare. I begin to stand up and move forward of this round stool. I am spalding my appendages as I move forward and calibrate near the coordinates. My pixelated form is relatively weightless. It does not seem to float away or sink through the floor. The thin, layered electrons beneath the lowered appendage of the marble tile floor exchange places with one another. The sensation is not unlike tiny pop rocks dissonating on my tongue. Uncertain of the new embarked engaged sensation, I set my toes intentionally to exit out the second passageway with more light, if that's where my heart is beaming, out with no hesitant at the first sight of after. The second rotation of the motion is repeated, and then I repeat after. I am alternating my conditioning and my normalcy of being pixelated. My prana feeling new is exhilarated. My new normal is anticipated. That the coordination is a bit off, but I land each piece flawless. Each tentacle seems more forceful than necessary, but it garnishes no area that is onward, that seems more heavy as each step. I wish to master grace and ease, and each of the trivial steps is a skill of mobility, balance, and finesse. It looks like a dance. Before I even reach the first passageway, the second corridor takes a chance. I take an extra light slip and begin to drift with ease. I realize as I can glide, whoa, with ease. Why would I ever walk when I could glide so beautifully? Oh, what wonderful enhancements to skim just the thinnest plate of atoms effortlessly. No effort besides the intention of motivation to move, to propel your emotion. I am moving in ways I never knew possible, you see. I am approaching both openings. Do I realize that there is commotion? Oh, yes, but as I pass the first passageway, I pass by and I feel the inner whisper, first things first, in the inner intelligence that Bass was talking about. I did not rebel against it because I'm going to help. I choose the storm over the silence. Anyway, it did not need. No one said to reverse in my meek way that I glided with casualty. As I then backed up, knowing that the sound came out of the first, the second was too quiet, and I might not have rehearsed this as an intent, but I did pass the threshold. But then I can hear a few of them telly behind. Wow, she is so bold. Gliding already in both directions. Clever little one. Always and forever you have been our sunny spot, son. I wish for us to travel safe with you one day when you return. I almost hear Apollo and Cassiopeia, but I know they're not in this room. I've learned that almost everything I hear is a call from nostalgia in the future. I almost stop when I hear that last remark, but I know if they truly are here, they know I'm clever, and I'll proceed into the passageway of the dark. But if I can see the end of the brimming beam, I know the light will have a start. I do not go to the brighter one, or the one that's more quiet. I go towards the one where the light shines from me. I am no longer divided. I hear the fades of the cracks of the beautiful voice of my allies. I do not follow the safety, but I do not look back in the stirring. Instead, I see the fond memory